Hello there, my name is Sanborn, and I'm here to teach you guys about the naming of chemical compounds, which is called chemical nomenclature. To begin, you're going to want to have some sort of periodic table, like I have here, to help you, go through the process of naming the chemical compounds. I noticed because if you look at your periodic table, you see potassium is under the 1A column, so it has a +1 charge. So on and so forth. This column has +2s, 2A, 3A has +3, 4A has +4, 5A is -3, 6A is -2, and 7A is -1. And as you can see, chlorine is right there under the 7A column, and it has a -1 charge. Nonmetals are everything to the right of the staircase right here. Everything over here is a nonmetal, and it goes straight down from here. That's the most metal-like element. That's the one you want to write first. So I'd write a chlorine before I write helium, or I'd write silicon before I write nitrogen. And if it's in the same row, it's the element most to the left that you write first and the one that's on the right. So I'd write silicon before I wrote sulfur. And if they're on the same row, I'd write sulfur before I wrote oxygen. And this is NaCl, which is called sodium chloride. As you can see, there's one positive, one negative, so they cancel out. So that's neutrally charged also. We're going to start off by naming this compound right here, which as you can see has a +1 charge and a -1 charge. That's for chlorine and that's for potassium. So these two, so they cancel out. As you can see here, phosphorus has 2, so there's 2 phosphorus, so that would be diphosphorus. And oxygen has a 5, that's 5 oxygens, so that would be pentaoxide. And for here, silicon doesn't have one, and you wouldn't put a mono in the front. And then chlorine has 2. There's 2 chlorines, so it'll be dichloride. So silicon dichloride. Carbon doesn't have one. Nitrogen there's 4 nitrogen, and so that'll be carbon tetranitride. That would be carbon monoxide. There's just 1 carbon and there's 1 oxygen. And like I said, the mono doesn't go in front of the first element. Any element with a positive charge will be in front of the element with a negative charge. Remember that. That's important. Metals are cations, which have a plus. Nonmetals are anions, which have a negative charge. With naming molecular compounds, the prefix, or here the prefixes, that's 1 for mono, 2 for di, 3 for tri, 4 tetra for 4, 5 for penta, 6 for hex, 7 for hep, octa for 8, 9 for nona, 10 for deca. Naming a molecular compound, the prefixes go in front of the element, in front of the first element and the second element, and the second element ends with the "ide," and a molecular compound is 2 nonmetals. The mono isn't put in front of the first element, but all the other prefixes can go in front of the first element. I noticed because on the periodic table, As you can see, potassium is right there. What the hell? Focus bit. Oh my gosh. What? It can look that focused, but you've been fucking up this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so when naming ionic compounds, you want to name the metal, which would be the cation, the positively charged element, and then secondly, you want to name the nonmetal, the anion, the negatively charged element, and that'll end with a IED, which is ide. Okay, to name PbSO4, which is, it'll be lead with the Roman numerals 2 sulfate. It didn't end in an IED because this is a polyatomic ion, and there's Roman numerals because lead has more than one positive charge that it can have. Like it could have 2 or 4. So that's just a way to distinguish between if it's a 2 or a 4. Al2 SO parenthesis SO4 parenthesis 3. Subscript 3 is called aluminum sulfate. Once again, that's a polyatomic ion, and the sulfate is 2 charge, is a negative 2 charge. Whoopsie daisy. Negative 2 charge, and it cancels that 2, cancels out this 2, so this is all neutrally charged. That will be all until next time. And KCl is called potassium chloride.